That was incredible. What's up, Flick fans? Welcome back to the channel. I saw Godzilla Minus One. I want to talk about this right now. You know what? Let's do it. So in Godzilla Minus One, Japan is already devastated by war when a new crisis emerges in the form of a giant monster. This is rated PG-13. It features creature violence and action. It is directed and written by Takashi Yamazaki. I am floored, absolutely bewildered by the fact that this movie was done on such a low budget, $15 million. Okay, so that makes me want to stand back and look at not only the other Godzilla movies that come to us in the United States, but just blockbusters in general. $200 million. Some of the recent blockbusters we've had in theaters, I don't want to point out specific films, but recently, over $200 million for that.
What the fuck?
And it feels like we get 5 to 6 of those a year. And then you have this film, which was done for $15 million, and it looks better than almost every blockbuster I've seen in 2023. That's frankly incredible, but you're also sitting back scratching your head going, where's the money going? Because it's clearly not in visual effects.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry, I'm going to take a second, stop ranting, and just admire this movie that I just walked out of elated on a level that I never imagined. Now, part of that could be the fact that I watched this in a beautiful theater, Cinemark, D-box seats, so they're moving along with you. I haven't done that since, like, Top Gun, and frankly, whenever Godzilla was doing Godzilla things and the seat was moving and the screen was beautiful and the sound design was phenomenal, this is one of the coolest blockbuster experiences I've had in a long time, and frankly, one of the most surprising, because while I enjoy some of the Godzilla content, when you look at the recent movies that have been coming out. Now, I like Monarch on Apple TV+, but the recent movies, Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla King of the Monsters,
I mean, it's all right. Like,
Godzilla Minus One is so much better because it actually cares about its characters. Now, a big complaint that I've had is the fact that, you know, most of these monster films, these creature features, they'll spend a lot of time on the humans and less time with Godzilla. That's fine if you have a compelling story. That's fine if you have reasons why Godzilla is showing up every now and then causing chaos, but there's someone or a group of people to latch onto and care about. That's okay. Just do it right. Godzilla Minus One does it right. It immediately gets you attached to that character because there is a destiny, at least one given to him, that he does not fulfill in the beginning, and life takes a strange direction when this huge lizard shows up on a beach and just starts doing big lizard things. What's happening?
That motherfucker back there is not real!
that's gonna kill me. That's real. That lives with us on Earth. I thought I was gonna get eaten.
Where was I? Yeah, this movie's amazing. It's genuinely amazing, and I'm not just saying that because I don't like the films that we've gotten over the last several years and the Godzilla universe that they've built up. It's just been a little lackluster. I've enjoyed moments, but I love it more when you have something that you can feel, when there's an emotional attachment to one or two characters that you can't explain it. Well, I can't explain this, right? They build them up beautifully from the beginning. The relationship between our main family, it's an unconventional family of sorts because they kind of find each other after each of them went through some tragic circumstances. But our main character, he's dealing with something internally that he doesn't quite know how to communicate at the beginning of the film, and really for quite a while. And we spend a lot of time with these three on screen to the point where some could watch this and say, where is Godzilla? We get an awesome scene and sequence at the beginning, and it was terrifying. The music was amazing, but he's not in there for another 30, 40 minutes. And normally I'm saying to myself, this is not good. But in this movie, it's filmed so beautifully, it's scripted so exquisitely, and it gives you enough time to care about our main character, his circumstances, and those that he meets along the way, but also grasp the weight of what's actually going on here. And going from the tragedy of war, something that has affected him on a level that we just don't quite know. I mean, I didn't know. I was not aware of the emotional weight that the story had to it going into this film. But as I'm moving through, I'm getting the same feelings and emotions as I do in some war movies, because there's so much emotional weight to what's actually happening prior to Godzilla. When Godzilla actually shows up, you're already so invested. And the first 45 to 50 minutes of this film, they do a beautiful job of building you up. And I was thinking of one word through the first act of this film, and that's a word I hardly ever use on first watch. I was thinking of the word masterpiece, and not even being generic with that word, talking in the world of Godzilla movies and all the ones that I've seen, even beyond the most recent MonsterVerse. This is a Godzilla movie masterpiece, meaning it's the best we've ever gotten from this world. And I truly mean that. Now, I'm thinking that the first act, there's still a long way to go. Let's see what the second act brings us. And the second act of this movie, man, it's the Godzilla sequence that everyone's waiting for. It's the Godzilla sequence that plays on everything you want it to play on. It has some of those classic, even the music that comes in, it's classic, it's iconic, it's recognizable, but it's mixed with this new score that plays in so beautifully. The visual effects that I talked about, a $15 million budget. I can't wrap my head. I mean, there's maybe a moment or two, maybe a scene or two. There's a scene where some guys are standing on top of a building, they're doing radio, they're looking at Godzilla. Okay, there's a green screen there, fine. But there are only 2 or 3 moments in the entire film where you feel that way. And most people won't even feel that way. They're not annoying and nitpicky, like myself.
You're lame!
I've seen big fans of the Godzilla franchise from start to finish use the term works of art for certain movies that, some of which I've seen, some of which I have not, but I've never felt that way about a Godzilla movie until now. Until a film that not only made me so invested in this world that our characters are living in and actually giving a crap about the subplots in this film and, who our main character surrounds himself with, the little crew that comes to life. I mean, really starts to get some development towards the end and excels in the third act. I feel that way about this film. I feel like this is a work of art because it really explores the world, the pain and suffering that comes from this war, and that's put on display so well. But to go from that to this huge creature attacking and the citizens trying to rise up, the government's not going to do anything about it. Let's put it in our own hands and let's do something about it. And that's what the third act is all about in this film. And I thought that was really beautiful. This is the part in the film where I did start to find things that maybe could have been executed just a bit better. The one-liners, the rousing speeches, kind of the predictability of what's put on display. And there's one moment where they're really going for a shock factor, but unfortunately, they spell it out to a point to where it just becomes predictable. And I do wish that wasn't included in this third act. But the payoff, the resolution, and the emotions that come from that rousing resolution. Oh, and also what Godzilla's doing. Yeah. The atomic breath. It's the most riveted I've been by a blockbuster all year. That's it. The ending, it's just a tad cheesy and it doesn't capitalize on the darkness and the levity of the rest of the movie, but I'm okay with it because it made me feel something. I felt something for everyone in this movie, and I loved seeing Godzilla on the big screen. And again, I can't speak enough about the effects. I don't even know, some of the shots looked practical. I don't know how they would do it, but they looked so good. I'm like, that's a practical effect, but it probably wasn't. But it may have been. I can't tell. That's good.
I am so confused.
Before I give you my score, have you ever just been blown away by a movie that you didn't expect to blow you away? Which film was that, and how was that theatrical experience? I'm going to keep this one really simple. Not only is this the best Godzilla movie I've ever seen, this is one of the best movies of the year. I was riveted from start to finish, in awe during certain sequences, and I loved this movie. I want to see it again on the big screen. Obviously, I don't know if it's going to have the same impact on a smaller screen, but I don't care. I want to watch this again, man. I really felt something. Finally, I felt something for a Godzilla movie. It's amazing. So there are clearly more Godzilla movies I need to see, but this one I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you want to drop a like, that would be cool. I'll see you soon.